Simon, we've been inspired by your thoughts on prayer that we've been watching over the last 4 weeks. I've posted them onto our church Facebook page and people have loved them. We've had a week of prayer. We're running a prayer course during Lent, Pete Gregg's prayer course. So that's been a really kind of significant season for us as a church. And I just appreciate your thoughts on what we should be focusing on as a church as we emerge from lockdown and this whole impact of this last year of the coronavirus on the church. How do you think we should be kind of focusing our energies at this time?
Well, that's a really good question, and I'm not sure I have got the clear schematic of quite what to do when we emerge from lockdown. Thank God that it looks like we will be doing so soon with the rollout of the vaccines. I think 2 things. First, we've got to focus on the things that we lost in lockdown. And in lockdown, it really, despite all the blessings of technology and online connections with Zoom and online church, we lost community. And I think we're going to need to work quite hard rebuilding community and family and the sense of the body. And you know, we've all been sort of, in one sense, quite consumer, unless you're, you know, a clergy person and part of the team putting on these events. We've been in our homes watching and consuming, but I think we're going to need to work as church leaders and as church on doing family again, doing community, doing unity, being a body, and learning what it is to do church together, not just watching it in our isolated sort of homes on laptop. And I think along with that, people after a year of watching online are not used to being together. They may enjoy and prefer not being together. They may much prefer the input down the screen and watching do church from their bed or their pajamas, or, you know, all of that. And so I think the question will be whether we continue to have some sort of online presence as well as in-person gathering, and how we divide our time, resources and energy. That would be the first thing. And I think also some people are going to be full of fear about meeting. A lot of people will have suffered loss or suffered in health-wise. So I think a lot of pastoring is going to be going on, building family and pastoring. That's what I think we initially look forward to and invest in. Yeah, gathering the family and stirring them up and encouraging one another. Yeah, and tending one another before we then look out in mission and vision.
And as you look at the wider landscape of the church across this nation, you've mentioned in some of your talks about the declining numbers in the Church of England, particularly the financial crisis, or all these kind of discouraging aspects that seem to come our way at this time, accelerated by the pandemic and its impact on the church. What hope do you have for the church across the nation, looking forward beyond this rather difficult season we're in now?
Oh, yeah, what hope? Again, I was talking earlier about that book I've been reading about hope, and I'm reading her this morning. I'm reading my Bible as well in the morning, but I also am reading a bit of her. And today she was talking about hope. She's an atheist, but saying that she was living with hope. And I thought, wow, this atheist has got hope for tomorrow, for the future plans. And but we're the hope people. You know, we could bottle it because actually we've got every basis to have strong hope. And I think firstly we hope because God hasn't left us. We left the building, but he hasn't left the church. and God is here, and he promises to be with us always. So, wherever we are and however we are, when we come back to church and we rethink the future, God is here. He hadn't given up on us. He hasn't given up on our country, hasn't given up on the church, hasn't given up on the lost. And I think we just need to sort of find that true north again. God is with us. And that's a wonderful thing. That puts everything in order. And then I think, secondly, things are in a mess, and the church has been hemorrhaging for some time, numbers. But I think that this pandemic has caused people, has brought fear to the front door. And I think that, we've got the answer for that. I think it's caused real hunger in people and real questions to rise up about life, and existential questions as well as political and whatever. And we've got something to say. We've got a grand narrative, a beautiful grand narrative. We've got something to say. We've got something to offer, and we shouldn't be ashamed. And I think that we should, pray and push to find opportunities where we can say God is here and we've got a story and something for you. I think the church is, just looking inwards at the church, we've been humbled in this season. We kept going though, and it's been a bit like a desert, hasn't it? Really, Lent. We're coming into Lent, and I often think about Lent in terms of the desert. But there's a lovely phrase, is in the Song of Songs, who's this coming up out of the desert leaning on their beloved? And I think we're coming out of the desert leaning on our beloved, and he's with us, and we're coming with him. And Jesus came out of the desert, it says, in the power of the Spirit. I hope that we'll be a humbler, we'll be leaner, but we're more fit for purpose, leaning on our beloved and in the power of the Spirit.
That sounds great. That really does give hope, doesn't it? That's a lovely tone to finish on. I think that missional intention and missional opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I when said you wanted to ask, I thought that's what I thought. Come out the desert, leaning on the beloved. So he's there with us, but also come out in his power. We might be limping, but we got some power because he's with us. And there's a job to be done, and the Lord trusts us with it.